welcome to episode 65 of Wing Sauce. Got to give it a weird hello every once in a while.
Yeah, keep everybody on their toes. I like it.
Yes, the Danny DeKeyser episode. And we'll get into talking about some Red Wings and everything because they had a 3-game win streak and then just laid an egg yesterday. So we'll talk a little bit about that. But first off, let's do the rounds. Dustin and Connor. I don't believe who started last week. Was it Dustin?
I think so.
All right.
I think it was Dustin.
Connor, we'll start with you.
Oh, okay. Wow. Man, I wasn't expecting.
Not ready.
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Just doing a bunch of work on the house now that the weather's turning around too. People are outside going for walks.
It's supposed to snow next week.
No way.
Well, is it really?
Yeah. No, seriously.
Don't say that degrees.
Well, I will be in Florida next week, so whenever it snows, I go to Florida.
Wait, when will it be 25?
Wednesday, I think.
What?
Yeah. I mean, at least over here in Monroe.
It's going to be 43 in GR.
Yeah, 43 over here.
Really? Look at the low.
27. But it's still sun. Yeah, it's going to be cold enough, I guess, but it's not going to actually snow.
Tuesday it says I got little snow water, a little rainy, slurry mix.
No,
and
man.
Saturday,
well, you know what? Those are the days I'm working inside then. We're doing a ton of work on we got our I know I've been keeping random updates on the kitchen remodel, but now it's pretty much done. But we got our countertops this weekend. Yeah, thank you. That was kind of the last piece. I mean, we have to do the backsplash now that the countertops are in, but that was kind of the last piece of the puzzle to make it actually look like a kitchen. So you don't just have a piece of plywood sitting on top of the island. But it is it's pretty awesome to have a kitchen again. I will say that. It's been a difficult winter given not having an actual kitchen and anything to cook on, but anyway, it's been fantastic. We worked on the nursery a little bit yesterday, but a nice little accent wall up. That I don't know if accent wall is the correct term.
I think so.
Yep, that's correct.
We did the same thing with ours too.
Did you? Yeah, cool. What'd you do?
Decals. I'll send you a picture of it.
I saw it on Lydia's Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think I saw that as well. So that. Yeah. Okay. Then I said it right. Yeah. We put up little decals like that in a specific pattern. Again, don't know the pattern, but it's kind of cool. I don't know, but that's enough for me, Dustin. Let's hear what's going on in your life.
Well, I'm curious about the specific pattern that you used, but honestly, nothing much has changed over here. Been watching some hockey. Watered my grass with some iron, but
nice.
Yeah, pretty exciting
with
news
what?
over here. Some iron.
Oh, okay.
Do you have to add it into your water?
Yeah, so I get this stuff called Get Sunday. It's like this all natural organic stuff. It's because I have cats and I don't and other animals. I don't want other animals dying.
I got
come out of my grass.
Mm-hmm.
But so it's all natural. It's like molasses and some other stuff. Yeah, sprays it on there. Supposed to be pretty good. I've used it. This will be the first time I've used it in succession, for a year. So I'll be curious to see. Go ahead.
Do you have hard water or soft water at your house? Because I thought would hard water would it have the right minerals and stuff, or did you?
Yeah. So there actually, when you get the stuff, they actually make you do a soil test. So you actually get some soil and send it back to them, so they know what cool. actual. Yeah. So it's actually pretty in depth, and you can check it out and tells you what kind of soil you have, when you should actually start watering your grass, mowing your grass, adding the nutrients. So it kind of knows it scientifically, just based on your region and geography.
I thought you were totally taking a dig at Lake Erie's water.
Oh no!
I was like, wait, you're watering it with iron? I had never heard of that. That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah.
He just has a hose connected right from Lake Erie that he's just dragging it over to his yard.
Well, I actually went to Sterling State Park yesterday for the first time. And there's a ton of boats out yesterday.
Nice.
Makes me kind of want to get a boat, but I don't want a bass boat. I want
a yacht.
Yeah, pretty much a yacht. But then again,
50 to 60 foot, 3-bedroom, one bath yacht. It's not a big deal.
Just
nothing
a
big.
Quick bay ripper.
Nothing serious.
For Sunday mornings. That's all.
and
a helicopter. And a helicopter to land on.
Yeah, with a helipad.
Well, obviously, you got to get to the boat somehow.
Right? Jeez, come on now. But yeah, Tyler, what about you?
Oh, it was
Just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. There's really not a whole lot going on. I did some yard work, but other than that, I found out that sod is really not as expensive as I was imagining.
No.
So I went over to a buddy's house for a bonfire last night. He ripped up a section of like rocks. It was all rocks, like right by his pool area. And he took out a section of fencing and then laid sod down. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool, man. It looks great. Like, how much did that cost? He said it was like $170 for like, it was a pretty sizable section too. I was like, what? So I'm sure you guys know. Well, you
with grass.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I am probably going to get some pricing done for our backyard because you guys know how much of a fucking struggle that has been for me.
Well, dude, do you feel like you're gonna leave a spot for your dogs?
What? Well, yeah. I'm probably gonna rip up all of that and just resod it.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna leave the rocks in, but I'm gonna just rip up the existing grass right now because it's like half grass, half mud, and I'm just gonna resod it.
There you go.
So, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I could talk some landscaping. I got to do that in front of my house too. So,
oh man, guess what I'm doing after this?
Landscaping, same here, dude. I'm running to Lowe's. I got to do the phase 1 on the lawn.
I need to see. That's what I just did is the phase 1 for me, but I need to do like mulching.
I got 60 bags of mulch in the yard right now, laid out in the different areas.
What color?
It's just like a dark brown.
Nice.
And,
beauty.
Yeah, just doing that, and then going to the garden center after this to get some different boxwoods to plant and everything. It's going to be a fun. It's going to be a good
boxwoods, baby.
Sunday. Yeah, low maintenance, and because I don't know how to care for anything. I'll get a flower and it'll immediately die. I have succulents sitting in front of me right now, and some of those are dead, and those don't ever die. So, I don't know.
I need some boxwoods for my house too. Right in front of my porch, nice and easy. Rip up everything that's there now.
Yeah,
they just look
pretty cheap.
It's the standard.
Yeah.
We got some mini ones in front of our bay window, so
it's perfect.
I think that's what we're planning on getting.
Anyway, we should talk hockey, huh?
Yeah, so I had a couple things I wanted to bring up before we got into like Red Wing hockey.
7 minutes in and we're just getting to hockey.
Yeah. That's the usual. A couple things, some news from around the league, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Marleau tied Gordie Howe for most games played in the career at 1,767. Pretty crazy.
That's a whole bunch of games.
That is nuts. So interesting fact though. So I was curious on that off that record, who had the most seasons played in their career?
Oh,
anybody know?
What would it still be? Gordie?
Is that your guess?
Yes.
Okay, Connor.
Let's see here. I'm gonna go Chelios then. I don't know if that's.
Oh, you guys are both right, actually.
Wow.
Both had 26 seasons played. Chris Chelios 26, Gordie Howe 26. They do have Chris Chelios at number 1, so I'm not sure.
Interesting.
I'm not sure why.
I would have picked Howe if you didn't already pick. So I'm surprised that I guess I just didn't even think about it. How many seasons he played?
I was thinking Jágr too, but does his seasons overseas count as pro?
Oh, he's got to be number 1 then, right?
No, Jágr,
Jágr has
Jágr has 24 seasons played. But interesting enough, there are 2 active players that have more than Marleau. Do you know who those 2 might be?
Thornton.
That's who I would pick. Yeah. I don't know the other one, but I was going to say Thornton.
Come on, who else is older in the league?
I'm trying to think though. Who's a really
no shield? No shield.
Getzlaf.
Oh, Chara.
Yep, Chara. Nope.
Oh
Chara.
Shit! I don't know how I didn't think of that.
Whenever you say no shield, I just immediately think of Chara. Then I start from there.
Same. So crazy enough, Marleau has 23 seasons played, tied with Thornton and tied with Chara. But according to again NHL records, they have him listed above him.
Wow.
So that means I'm 2 for 2 in trivia right now. By the way, I want that on the record.
So far, so good. One more thing, Ray Whitney, which I'm pretty sure might be Ryan Whitney's dad.
No, I don't. No,
that's false.
Related.
Okay, false news.
They're not even related.
Yeah, nope, same time period.
Mm-hmm.
So it can't be related. All right, next one. Next one I got right here. How close is Alexander Ovechkin from being number 5 for goals?
Oh,
I'm gonna say
like how many goals back is he?
Yep.
I'm gonna say going to say 9.
You guys are both wrong. He's 1 goal back.
Damn it.
1 goal back from being number 5?
Wow.
Yep. He's at 730. Marcel
Dion
is at 7. Yep. Dion is at 731.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I think actually he might catch Brett Hall. He might. Brett Hall's at 741.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got to get 11 more goals. It's not unrealistic, but it's pretty damn.
He's got to go on a tear for the end of the season, like multiple hat tricks.
Yep, as I said, it's pretty unlikely.
Yeah,
but he could. But yeah, that's all the little weird records that I had. I thought they were kind of interesting.
I like it, man. No,
awesome. That was I did not expect trivia this early, so I'm happy.
Yeah, getting the brain going. You know what? I haven't had 3 full cups of coffee yet. I'm on 2.5. So after that third one, I'm.
That's probably why I was 2 for 3.
Yeah, exactly. But I was never a good test taker anyway. Not good under pressure. Moving on. So the 3-game win streak, boys. We can all agree the Wings have been playing better hockey, and we'll get to the game that they played last night. It was a very disappointing 4-0 loss, but Vrana scoring in his debut with a hell of a pass from Gustav Lindstrom. I thought that was really, I mean, something to get his confidence going on a new team for sure. Nothing gets that, kind of weight off your shoulders like scoring that first goal on a new squad.
Yeah, and I wonder if that was coming from the goalie too. If it, because like that's kind of the goal, penalty kill. Because Vrana was coming out of the box, if I'm not mistaken, right? That was that breakaway. He's coming out of the box. It's really difficult for players when you're watching the puck a lot. But if a puck's in the corner or kind of out of the zone, it was in the zone. But goalies are usually aware of time left on the power play or penalty kill.
Right.
And he was kind of, because the puck, I don't exactly know if who was calling for it, but it was kind of a no look or heads up play. I don't know. So I just wonder, it's always interesting to hear what's going on the ice. We don't always catch that on video, obviously watching from TV, but there's so much talk. So it's always interesting seeing that, or if you're at the game and you're by the ice, you can hear what's going on. It's cool.
So you think Bernier got the vocal assist?
I would hope so, kind of. I mean, it's kind of his job there, but and it kind of looked like it from how quickly that pass was moved up, or maybe he was talking before. I guess I don't remember when. It's kind of seriously, do it. Add it to the score sheet. I like that, but I don't know when the last face-off was too. Sometimes they're aware, if there's 10 seconds left, 15 seconds left in a kill, then you just heads up play, and but that part of that's on Chicago. That's pretty bad. That last D-man's got to leave the zone.
Head on a swivel.
Weak side D-man's got to be at center ice.
Yes, definitely. Dustin, you had something to add there?
Yeah, no, it had nothing to do with that. What you guys are talking about had more to do with, you're talking about players on new teams. I was going to say Mantha also had a goal in his first career game.
And an assist.
Yeah, an assist. Yep. In his first game in Washington, but he's actually been doing pretty good. He's actually had quite a few goals with Washington. So like I said, I think the whole new team is a good look for him. Just like I think Vrana's going to fit in pretty well here.
Mm-hmm. And I think if Mantha keeps going, I think that I'm sitting pretty on my Mantha take.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So but I feel like I mentioned before, though, he was being lackadaisical in Detroit.
Yeah, and that's tough, and I think that's part of the argument, though, too, right?
New coach too.
Like how much of it is a bad team and like your wingers and defensemen. Not saying it's like really bad, but there's a different style of play, and maybe he didn't fit in with this style.
Yeah. No, absolutely. But the 2 wins against Carolina, those are huge.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure if Carolina was sleeping or if we just played some really good hockey.
The Red Wings outplayed them for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And even talking about huge games, we can just throw that third win in the last game. Not the last game, but the second to last game against Chicago. I mean,
kept it pretty quiet.
Talk about a huge game to lose if you're Chicago. If I was a fan there, I'd be furious. I mean, you need to win. You have to get 8 points out of your next 5 games, and lost against the second worst team in the NHL.
So I have a stat on the Chicago series. That's what I was doing, Tyler, when I was talking to you earlier.
Yeah.
So they played 8 games. Home, we had 1 win, 3 losses. Away, 1 win, 3 losses.
Is that Chicago or us?
Chicago.
That's rough. Yeah, I mean,
or them. They'd have 3 wins at home, and 3 wins away.
They're kind of netting out where people were thinking, especially Tyler. You thought they would be kind of where they've been playing the last month of hockey.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, their goalies, their goalies were off to a hot start. The whole team was off to a hot start, and honestly, that caught me by surprise. But kind of the hockey that they're playing right now is kind of how I was expecting them to play throughout the entire season. But
yeah, just like middle of the tier.
Yeah, and guys, that the win against Chicago, the 4-1 game, I wanted to bring back to that real quick. So the shots were pretty close on the stat sheet, but the most interesting stat in that game was that the Wings had 24 blocked shots to their 6. So that means if I believe Chicago only had 25 shots that game, if those 24 blocks had gotten through, I mean, they were firing the puck the entire game. And yeah. It was 25 shots on goal for Blackhawks.
That kind of is like a lot of teams' recipe for success, and that's Chicago too. You saw it with the last game, their 4-0 win over Detroit yesterday on Saturday, and they fire from everywhere, and they kind of pick up. They're hoping for a block shot or a save or a bad rebound or something, and you saw it with one of the goals. They shot from the point, it got blocked, and I think that was the goal DeBrincat scored. Just like sitting on the bottom of the circle, and it hit someone in front. And we've talked about it a bunch. Detroit doesn't do a great job of having guys in front of the goalie, where you see other teams like Chicago just crowd the slot and hope for a break. And sometimes they get it, and sometimes they don't. But that they're shooting from everywhere. I don't think they're necessarily great shots. A lot of those that were blocked had no business of even being a shot, on the half wall, and you get a stick on it or get a foot on it or whatever.
Yeah,
and
throwing a prayer at the net.
Yeah, and it's just an easy save for goalie, and it's not great, especially when you're on offense. The worst thing in the world is you have a winger throwing it on net, and the goalie takes it and gets a face off, or he puts it behind the net, and it's an easy breakout, especially if you have any sort of pressure on the offensive side. But I don't know. It's Chicago. Like we said, they're kind of playing how we thought they would play now, and I don't think that they're getting half of the breaks that they got in the beginning of the season.
Yeah. Now, so for that 4-0 loss yesterday to Chicago, there's some stats that I have to bring up and some points I wanted to bring up too. So obviously their fourth goal was an empty netter with 4 minutes left, whatever. I'm not going to talk about that, but the number one thing, Detroit was 0 for 6 on the power play. And this stat right here just should infuriate you as a Wings fan. And that should be the number one focus going into next year's power play. They only got 5 shots on that 4-minute man advantage.
Yeah. I will say that, first of all, that does infuriate. So I'm just going to leave with that. That's obviously not good. I thought that they had chance. Do you know, so shots on net, but do you have scoring chances on that power play?
I don't.
Because I know they had probably 2 or 3 on that 4 minute that they had a high sticking on Nemestikov in the front of the net. That's the one you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
And that, I think Duncan Keith had that, but that had that, which he's typically plays in the penalty kill. So you would hope to take advantage of that if you're Detroit, to say, hey, one of the top guys is on the ice, or it's in the box here, and you have 4 minutes without him, so that's good. But they did have a few chances, a couple missed opportunities, especially, they had a different setup with Larkin sitting on the half wall. I forget who was down low that kind of missed a couple passes on right off the crease.
Zadina a couple times. It was in his feet a couple times, and Rasmussen.
Yeah. And but I thought that they had a couple, but they really, and we've said it's kind of just not even worth saying anymore, but they're just not bearing down on some of the scoring chances. And at some point, you don't expect them to score every time on these chances that they're getting, not even the power plays, but the chances that they're getting. But if it happens time and time again and game after game, then you really got to, drop that bottom hand and bear down on it. I mean, Helm missed a couple opportunities, and it's rough. You got to find a way to put the puck in the net. There's no excuse.
And Dustin brought up a good point a few podcasts ago too. Like, you have Rasmussen, he's huge. What is he? 6'6", guys? Put him in front of the net. Why is he on the side of the net waiting to bury a chance? Screen the goalie. Malcolm Subban played outstanding, but I think that it was greatly a part that no one was standing in front of him.
Well, and that's the thing I bring up all the time is 6'6". You're like 6'8" on fucking skates. You're a tree, literally. Like you're bigger than the fucking goalie. Just stand right there. It's almost guaranteed you can get a deflection to the net. But like that's where I think we lack is that. But I was impressed with the puck control in the zone on that 4-minute power play.
Yep.
That's one thing I feel like we lack a lot is the puck control. It's a lot of times you dump it, chase, and then maybe have it for a couple seconds before it gets kicked back out. But we did have good puck control. I would like to see more shots. But again, it's the same power play we've been running all year. Nothing's changed.
Yeah, I thought that they changed one. I thought they changed it for like 30 seconds when I was like, oh, this is a little new. But yeah, you're correct. It looked the same. They had a little different look that they tried. I think they tried it like 2 times and didn't really generate anything. So they went back to also what's not generating anything. So that really doesn't make sense. But I will say that this 4-0 loss looks a lot better than their other 4-0 losses that you saw for the past couple of years. I thought this. Yes. I thought they looked actually pretty good overall, and I was surprised. The score doesn't. I don't think that reflects how they played, and that's what goes back to they got to find a way to score a couple of those because man, they play, especially the first period. They start off great.
Oh yeah,
and then they let a goal in, and then I feel like the wheels just fall off.
Well, so that's what I wanted. I wanted to break down kind of each goal with you guys because I went back and watched and kind of broke down every single one. For Chicago's
had a bad game.
What's that?
I thought N had a bad game, but you can go just like especially looking at the goals and some of his play. But go ahead, we can talk about each goal.
Yes, I was just gonna say for Chicago's first goal. Was Stecher in quicksand? I've never seen a defenseman move that slowly when he's going towards a puck. He was flat-footed. Hinostroza beat him to the puck when he was several steps behind him, and then fed the puck to Patrick Kane. Cross ice pass, buried it. Bernier had no chance on that. I know, Stecher was probably shaking his head at that one. Instead of trying to go D to D, he should have fed it up the boards where. I don't know if it was Helm behind him or someone was behind him up the wall. But
was that the one that he mishandled at the? I'm trying to think of the first goal.
Yeah, so like when Stecher was going back towards the puck. It was we had possession in the offensive zone, and then Chicago banked it off the boards. It got past Stecher. Stecher pivoted.
Yeah, I was like.
Yeah, you know which one I'm talking about.
I was when I said N, I meant Stecher. I thought he had like 4 bad plays. Like when I
not the greatest game.
So that was my mistake. But that was okay. That's why I was confused. I was like, I thought that was N, but yeah, okay, never mind. Go ahead.
So yeah, I mean, as a defenseman, you gotta be stronger on the puck, and you have to bear down on that puck, especially when someone's coming on that hot on you. So. That's what I have to.
Didn't Kaner score that goal?
Yeah, it was Hinostroza that fed it over to Patrick Kane. Yeah.
Yes, I thought.
And then, so the second goal, Dustin, you talk about DeBrincat's skill all the time. You don't leave a guy like that alone. And Larkin definitely missed his coverage on that one. DeKeyser and Lindstrom both had their men, and Bernier had no chance on that. Again, that's 2 goals in a row that Bernier has no chance. Larkin he covered DeBrincat and then got caught puck watching, and then DeBrincat went around the net, for a back door, and that's exactly what happened.
I made him pay for it.
Yep. And then their third goal, I think that was just Zadina's young and he'll learn. That was a poor excuse for back checking. Stahl stepped up to force the play, and by default, a forward has to come back for support. Larkin was 30 feet behind Zadina at the beginning of that play, guys. So no one can say that that's Larkin's guy. He was at the very end of the other side of the ice,
and still was beating him.
Yeah. So Zadina needs to. I mean, if you watch the replay, that's really lackadaisical. So
but
again,
that was still Stecher though. Wasn't that he was
Stecher? Stecher did. He was taking the pass away, or tried to at least.
He was stuck in. So agree the back check, which we've talked about a lot of that effort, and like this isn't the D-man's fault, but man, he got stuck in no man's land completely. So he half poke checked, realized he was a half step behind, turned around, didn't put his stick on the ice to block the pass, and so it was almost a 2-on-0. So that's why it was another thing where he cut way towards the puck when he realized that there was a guy getting beat, and then he was within a stick, and I thought that he could have put a poke check out there to at least force him to go on the outside, but then
to force the shot.
To force the shot on the outside, but then he pivoted and didn't put it. He tried to put his stick down, but it didn't go on the ice. It was just a weird play. I was like, man, that's not exactly the D101.
Right.
I don't know. It was weird.
My point to that, Connor, and I agree with you. I'm not saying that Stecher on that exact play, displayed, the best defensive style. I just think that if Zadina would have covered that guy, I can't remember who it was at the time for Chicago, but if he would have actually gotten back and covered him, then it would have had Stecher to force him to take that shot instead of deciding at the last second to take that pass away. So,
for sure. Yeah. I think that that's clearly like where the breaking point is. But I think that so if you take away everybody else and now you're left with a situation where you have a guy stepping up, who'd you say it was? Stahl
stepped up to force the play.
Which I don't think that was a bad play. I think that there wasn't like a clear. That's what helps when you have two D-men that have played together for a while. You realize when people are stepping up and where you should be. Stahl stepped up, which I think was the correct play. Got beat a little bit, but
hard to do it against a guy like Kane too. Hard to step up.
So who scored? Like that was that rookie is the one that you're talking about, right? I think he's the one that scored. I don't know the guy's name.
Last name starts with a K. I don't remember. I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah.
Yeah, but either way, I thought that was rough.
So, like you guys both said, I agree that the Red Wings on the offensive side of the puck, they played well. It's a few defensive breakdowns in their own end, and even in neutral ice. The score sheet didn't reflect how the Wings actually played. It was just a few boneheaded mistakes that whatever. They still have been playing much better hockey, which brings me to my next point, guys. This week, we have almost a mini playoff series with Dallas. 4 games in a row. 2 in Dallas and 2 at home. I wanted to get your series predictions. Dustin, you want to start?
Sure. What do I think is going to happen? I'm going to be optimistic and go with the old 2-2.
Okay. Connor?
Okay. That's where I was going to say, but to be different, I will say 1-3.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah. Well, if you look at the Stars past couple games, they're putting up they have 9 goals in the last 2 games.
You want to know what the series is so far up to date?
Is Detroit doing all right?
No, 1-3.
Okay. Well, there you go. That's exactly, and I knew that for sure. That's totally me knowing the history.
Bada bing, bada boom.
I just think that the Stars are playing well the past couple of games. They have a few losses before that, but still, they're 3-5 in the last 5 games. I'm sorry, 3-2 in the last 5 games. But
have
they're
they
putting
played
up goals.
Struggling teams too, Connor?
Oh, for sure. They played Columbus the last 2 games. I think Nashville before that. But I mean, they just played the Blackhawks and beat them 5-1. I just think that given where the Red Wings struggle, for instance, putting 4-0 against Chicago, that's rough. It's not a great recipe for success if you're the Wings. Although I think they've been playing well, they're at least fun to watch. Now they're getting opportunities, and you just got to watch a few things like bearing down and a few defensive zone breakdowns. But they just got to find a way to put the puck in the net.
Yeah. Now I wrote down my prediction before even asking you guys that question. I had 2-2 as well. But
what 2 do you think you're going to win?
He didn't. Everyone listening, he just wrote it down.
Cross my heart, hope to die. Swear to God, I had it on.
Stick a stick in your eye or something like that.
Yep. I forget what the old saying is, but yeah, something like that. But with the Wings playing well, guys, and Columbus has struggled, will the commissioner's prediction hold true?
Who the fuck is the commissioner for the 10th time?
Talking
about Hugh?
You know exactly.
I told you not to call him that.
Well, he heard that,
the commissioner,
and he knows that he is going to call in every single time saying commissioner, and I'm
gonna start editing it out.
The commissioner here.
He's going to use it as many times as he can to make it difficult for you to edit it out.
It's not that hard. I'm very good at it. I'm gonna make a little thing. I'm gonna make a little input. I'm not gonna say what it is. I'm gonna find something good instead of the commissioners to say something else. So Just wait.
But yeah, so answer the question though. Do you guys think that with the Wings playing well and Columbus struggling, do you think that the Wings have a chance at climbing out of that last spot?
Well, the good news is the Buffalo Sabres are the only ones that are eliminated from playoff contention. And like I mentioned
10
before,
straight
Tyler,
years, right?
Like I mentioned before, if Detroit wins out, which they didn't, and every other team above them loses, we could actually make the playoffs. As far as beating Columbus,
okay, in your utopia,
as far as beating Columbus,
come back to the real world.
As far as beating Columbus, honestly, it's really a crapshoot. It can go either way. They're really close together. Same games played. They're up by 1 point. I'm gonna go ahead and say, yeah, Detroit's gonna outbeat Columbus.
Okay, Connor.
I mean, okay, and to be different again, I'll say no. But I've been saying no the whole time.
Okay.
I've been saying no the whole time. Although it does give me some optimism, showing how they've been playing the last couple games and how Columbus has been playing the last couple games. I hope that it'd be nice for them to jump out of that spot to gain a little momentum into the next season, knowing that we have a lot of moves in the offseason and some of the players coming back. Like Lucas Raymond just signed that 3-year entry-level deal. And,
ooh, absolutely.
How do we not mention that yet?
Yeah, that's true. I guess just, breaking news along the way.
So Stecher still hasn't signed. Stecher still hasn't signed his entry level, right?
No, but I'm just assuming. Well, I don't know.
No, I think he did.
Last year?
I think he did last year.
Did he play for the Wings?
No, he played in the A.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
So then he must have, right?
He's getting paid. I think he's getting paid like $950,000 or something like that for his ELC.
Rough life.
Right.
Dude, I'm excited. I can't wait. He should be back if Lucas is coming in, right? Because they said we should see him at the end of the season.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know.
Is he still? I thought he shut it down because he was hurt.
Lucas Raymond?
Oh, yeah. You're right. Because Joe Veleno's coming back. And that's why I was thinking that everyone else in the Swiss league that was playing over there should be coming back too.
I think he could have come back, but I think he's hurt and kind of just worrying about the offseason right now.
So is Stecher coming back, or is he still in playoffs?
He's still. I think he's on the number 1 team.
Yeah, and I don't know
the top couple teams.
Because Veleno's on the worst team.
And what are the rules with that too? With COVID and quarantine. Like if Stecher does come back, does he have to?
Yes,
he probably has to quarantine for 14 days. Yeah.
Yep, okay, 14 days, and there's NHL protocols because Danielle Bruce actually did a little interview with Joe Veleno the other day, and they were talking about that because he was in quarantine waiting to come back to skate with the team because he just got back from Switzerland.
Right.
Did you see that one thing with who's the player that got traded to Toronto where he got to ride on the flight?
Yes.
He went on the other teams, like the team he was just on, his flight to Toronto because they were playing each other.
Oh, what?
Did you see that story? Okay,
no.
Is it Riddick?
Is it Columbus? Who was the player?
Foligno?
It wasn't. Maybe it was Riddick. Actually, maybe it was him.
That would make sense because he was on
Riddick to
Calgary,
Flames.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, Flames to Toronto. That'd make way more sense.
I don't know. I think it was. I thought it was a U.S. team, and the only way that they could stay within the bubble in the NHL, he would have had to sit out 14, per Canada guidelines. They would have had to sit out 14 days, but because he stayed within the NHL bubble by traveling with the former team, he didn't have to do the 14-day sit out, and it was kind of weird because he wasn't on that team anymore.
I didn't hear about this. I don't know.
The only reason I'm going to say that it can't be a U.S. team is because no Canadian teams are playing U.S. teams.
Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense too. I don't know. I'll
been
look
Riddick.
It up. Yeah. But
Either
I thought it was interesting. It's just weird that he got traded, and so he was traveling with his former team over to Toronto. Maybe there's is there guidelines within different regions in Canada?
Yes.
So maybe that was the case, but I don't know. It was just take COVID aside. It was kind of weird. You don't really see that too often.
Or maybe
you're going to play that team, and they're on separate teams. And they're riding in the same plane.
Connor, you may have also seen. Foligno's dad used to play for the Leafs, so maybe they were talking about Foligno's dad, and I don't know. I'm trying to find any stretch to help you out here.
No, I'll find it. I'll find it. It was just it was interesting. It wasn't so much on the COVID thing. I saw something on that, but it was just more of you don't ever see. It's still you have to stay within. You're not going to be able to fly commercial. You have to stay within the NHL bubble. So I guess either way. But it was just interesting that
That's why I was saying it's a PJ, because I knew one player flew in a PJ, and that's why he got out of the 14-day quarantine.
Yeah, and
it was one of the World Junior players.
Yeah, and that's like that was early this season, like right away, right? That was
Yep.
Who was that on the West? It was some West Coast team, I thought.
Yeah, it was some like.
Was it Zegras?
Yeah, I thought it was Zegras playing back from World Juniors. Yeah.
That sounds pretty fair. Oh, speaking of kids, well, not really kids, but Cole Perfetti was skating with the Jets the other day.
Oh yeah,
dude, maybe we'll see a little Perfetti.
He's doing well in the A.
Yeah, he's tearing it up in the A.
Yeah,
doing well for the what's the Winnipeg's AHL team? I'm not sure what they're called.
It is. Oh man, the Manitoba Moose.
Shit, they're second in the North. Jesus.
Oh, ass tattoo time, baby.
No, that's if they win the Stanley Cup. I ain't worried.
But yeah, boys. I mean, that's all the Red Wings news that we had. Did you guys have anything?
I got some good news. I got a little microphone for the upcoming Made in Michigan hockey season. Which is pretty exciting.
Dustin McGuire, baby.
Sure, you can call whatever you want, dude. It's actually pretty cool. So it hooks up to my phone, and I can actually record video, or video and audio, with the microphone. And it sounds really good. I mean, I sent Tyler a little clip. It's kind of funny. But I thought it sounded good. Did you listen to it?
Did I?
Yeah.
That's why I was laughing.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So I thought it sounded like the audio quality was like good. So
I'm not an asshole where I would just send ha 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 just for fun. Like I pretended to watch it.
It was more like I was telling for you could tell the listeners.
Yeah, sorry.
You dick. Jesus.
Trying to set you up.
Yeah, and he's sitting here like, yeah, listen to it, you asshole. I was like, I know, obviously.
Yeah, sound quality's good.
Yeah, sound quality's good. Maybe I can bring the drone in there and fly it over the ice.
In the play.
Yeah, just flying between the players as they're skating.
Hit a goalie in the dome.
That would literally happen.
And then we'd lose our partnership.
Yeah, the partnership would no longer be there.
Ripping off the jersey patches.
Speaking of them, they're supposed to come on. What happened was Kurt went to Florida or something. So we're going to get Nick and Kurt back on, talk a little bit about the upcoming season soon. Hopefully within the next couple of weeks, because the season should be starting shortly. I think they're still doing signups. I could be mistaken.
Oh, Connor, don't miss your call.
There you go.
I'm waiting for the call.
Another thing, I started a YouTube page. I'm not too sure how to work it yet. So the audio, I think, on the first interview with Joey is on there. However, I think it sounds kind of loud. So I'm going to try to figure it out as far as like the movie editing. That's kind of new to me. I'm more of a audio editor, not a movie editor. So bear with me as I get that going. I post the YouTube link in our bio on the Instagram. I'll add it also to the webpage. For those of you who have signed up for our newsletter that's unexisting right now, I'm going to try to get something going shortly. But yeah, that's my spiel.
Sweet.
Nice. Good spiel. Tyler, I know that we potentially have some calls to listen to. Or a call. I think we have a couple, but I think we're going to do one.
Yes.
Yeah, one call?
Yeah, we have a call. And again, the Wing Sauce phone line is 616-287-2515. It's 616-287-2515. All right.
Ring. This is Wing Sauce.
we got a call from this listener here.
Maximilian.
Here we go.
Hey guys, long time listener, first time caller. This is Tyler's brother Max. Calling in, quick question for you folks. I want to see, who do you guys think should be protected from the Red Wings in the upcoming expansion draft? Who do you think they should put on the platform to be taken by the Kraken? And also, second part of that question, do you guys think that there'll be another expansion team? Let me know what your thoughts on that. Thanks. Bye.
Hey, I like that question. I think I've brought that up a couple times as far as like the expansion draft. So Max, I really like that you brought that up. I'm going to go last because I'm the one that brings up all the time. Tyler and Connor, I want your takes first.
Well, let's do this together because first of all, I don't even know how many players we can protect. And
yeah, so here, let's pull that up then.
So teams can protect 7 forwards, 3 defensemen, 1 goalie, or 8 skaters and 1 goalie. And the players that have I have to reread it again, but I just knew that was it. And then also there's like no movement clauses involved in contracts. So, obviously, you can't like take those players that have no move clauses. And
so you ready for this?
Oh, go ahead.
I got the conditions. All players with no movement clause at the time of the draft and who decline to waive those clauses must be protected and will count toward the team's applicable protection limits. All first and second year professionals and all unsigned draft choices will be exempt from selection and will not be counted toward protection limits. I.e., that should be
like
Lucas Raymond. The younger boys. Zadina would have to be protected. Just FYI. In addition, all NHL teams must meet the following minimum requirements regarding players exposed for the selection in the draft. One defenseman who is under contract in 21-22 and played at least 40 games prior to the season or played at least 70 NHL games in the prior 2 seasons. I've brought that up in the past talking about, Stahl and the other defensemen. 2 forwards who are under contract in 2021-22 and played at least 40 games in the prior season or played at least 70 NHL games in the last 2. The goalies are a little bit easier just because of how they're played. One goalie who's under contract in the 2021-2022 or will be a restricted free agent at the end of his current contract immediately prior to 21-22. Bernier would fall for this. If a team elects to make a restricted free agent goalie available to meet this requirement, that goalie must have received his qualifying offer prior to the submission of the team's protected list. And then also you can't add anybody who's had career-ending injuries or have missed previous 60 consecutive games.
Oh, so we can't put Franzen?
No, unfortunately not.
Right,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, okay, let's do it. I feel like we have the basis of it. That's too many words for me to know all the rules. So,
the simple thing is 14 forwards. So 14 forwards. Do we really want to? Are we going to do all 14? Is that?
No, I would say that let's pick a couple of guys, kind of like your
let's be the ones that. Larkin.
We know like Larkin.
The ones we don't need to mention: Bertuzzi, Larkin. I think Fabry's staying. Zadina, obviously, yeah. So I guess should we pick out the guys that probably won't be protected?
Yeah. I think that's a better thing. Like I think that's what he was kind of asking too.
Yeah.
So let me pull up this forwards here, so I can have it.
Can I start with one?
I have the
go ahead. Go ahead. I got it pulled up too.
I think Svechnikov, he will.
Yep, he's gone. Yep.
I don't know, man. I feel like, well.
What about like guys like Nemestikov and like Filppula's there? You have
Bobby Ryan.
Yeah,
he's out.
Well, Bobby Ryan's gone. DeKeyser is already.
We can't protect him anyway because he's still under. Well, his contract ends with us like this season, doesn't it? So he would be a free agent.
Yeah, but I think did he? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I thought he was trying to re-sign here as well.
Oh, I think he is, but until that is done, I think he would go under free agency when that.
Right, but I'm saying though, so like I mentioned before, there's gonna be signings in the offseason prior to this expansion draft that are solely for the expansion draft, i.e., re-signing like Bernier or giving him a qualifying offer, re-signing Bobby Ryan or those players that have 1 year.
Sure, okay.
What do you think
those are gonna be
Helm gone.
Helm gone.
Nielsen gone.
I mean, now granted, let me rephrase that. So when we say gone, just so the listeners know, that doesn't necessarily mean that Seattle is going to pick those up. We're just not protecting those players. Seattle has the option to pick those players up, move them to the team. Otherwise, those players would then have the option to come back to the team, retire, what have you.
Ernie.
Ooh. So Ernie, that's a good one. So the problem with Ernie I see right now is I think Yzerman Macy is a little bit worth. That being said, do you think the Kraken are going to pick him up out of the field of players that are going to be?
No, and I think that the Red Wings are in an okay spot because I don't think that it's almost easier for us to pick like 5 guys that are worth protecting, and then like Yzerman's job should be relatively easy. Like pick a couple guys that you like, and then anybody else. Like do they have enough players to protect that are worth protecting? To be honest,
no, 100% not. That's a great point. Great point. And that's the thing, though. I feel like with the Mantha trade, that opened up a lot of possibilities for who we could protect, right? Because Mantha was a player we were going to protect, guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
Getting rid of him opened a lot of possibilities as far as who else we can protect. Defensemen, like I mentioned, it's the same thing. Like you're going to protect your younger defensemen, but most of those players you don't have to protect anyways because they fall into that other contract.
Yeah,
right.
You don't have to protect anyways. So, I mean, I almost want to say Merrill is going to be the one they want to offer up. I don't think Merrill was a long-term signing. Would you guys agree with that?
No, but he's not on the Wings anymore.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's on the Canadiens.
So he wouldn't be wouldn't be a part of that. So
touche.
I think Biega.
I meant Stahl. Excuse me.
Stahl.
Stahl. Sorry.
Well, yeah, I could see him
Stahl.
being offered
Stahl.
up.
I meant not. Yeah. Not. My bad.
No. Yeah. So for Stahl, I think I think that he probably won't be protected. I mean, think about it. It's $5.7 million. Quite the cap hit.
Lindstrom. Yeah. Lindstrom won't have to be protected. He doesn't fall in that category. He
doesn't. Okay.
2 years.
Is he under 2 years? I thought it was just.
No, he was. Anyway,
he was in Grand Rapids. Oh no, I thought he got drafted in like 2019. So wouldn't it be the third year coming up?
It doesn't depend on when they sign their ELC, or am I wrong on that?
Yes. No.
Did he not sign it his first year?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Lindstrom. Nope, we gotta look it up. We can't nix the idea. Hold on.
Well, while you're bringing that up, I'm gonna say Biega, Cholowski, DeKeyser are people that obviously he's not gonna protect.
Yeah, and so all right. So for me to clear up my answer to Max, I think, like, I'll say it again. I think that you can protect like 5 guys. I think that anybody else is like we already went over the 5 guys. There's a few guys that you want to protect. Anybody else doesn't need to be protected. And in fact, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if they get picked up because their contract, like you might as well just open up cap space. They're not good enough to like, it's not worth protecting them because if they get picked up, you probably pick somebody else up for cheaper and you have about 50 draft picks in the next 2-3 years.
Right.
So,
yeah, it kind of helps.
Exactly. And like, I don't think, and to Connor's point, and just to answer Max's question as well, I don't think there's really that many players that we have to worry about as far as like not moving. We have enough slots open to save the players we need and the players that we think are going to be beneficial. Otherwise, to Connor's point, let's move on. We got draft picks.
It's a great question. He should call into like a Vegas Golden Knights or Colorado Avalanche or one of those podcasts of the top teams because then it gets really, really difficult because you have these you have a perfect team. You have a great, Pittsburgh right now. I just went over that last week. Or Toronto, yeah. Like, who do you protect, or who do you protect and not protect in their lineup? Their top 4 lines. They have a guy on every single line, at least a guy on every single line. That's like, man, I don't want to lose them.
Yeah, exactly.
And on top of that, you have to think Toronto. I'm pretty sure was in cap space trouble. So you have to
definitely.
You have to remember like the cap space issues. You have to resign players. So it's not just cut and dry. So yeah, that's a good point. A different team would be easier to dissect. Next part of the question, or
the second,
Tyler, do you have anything to add?
No, but the second question, when he asked, do you guys think that there's going to be another expansion team? What are your thoughts on that?
Not for a while. I think we're good at 32. I don't see them adding.
I think they've been wanting to get to 32 for a while.
Yep, that's the thing. Yeah. I read a lot of things. They wanted to get to 32. I don't foresee them just because of how the divisions are set up. You start adding more teams, it's going to get super weird. They're going to be heavy weighted, and it's just going to not work as well.
See, the one way I could see, and I don't even know if it would necessarily be an expansion team. The only way I could see a new team coming into the league is if one team folded. And like they weren't bringing in a lot of money or whatever, and then something like Houston, who claims to have a lot of money and can afford it, then you lose one team to get down to 31, but then Houston comes in to make it 32 again.
Or you just migrate a team from California,
right,
or New York, or
relocate.
Nah, dude, I like the Carolina Hurricanes.
Well, you like them, but the team, like, they only when they're good, they don't bring in playoffs. They have a good attendance, but I feel like their attendance is always at the bottom of the league.
But you look at Florida too, man, and they're building a new $40 million facility.
Well, dude, to be fair though, the Panthers are where the fuck did they come from?
Right. Well, I'm just saying that, like, even when like they are this good and they still can't get tickets.
Yeah, but Florida is weird because it's like, I don't want to say looking at just what they're doing with facility wise, because a lot of the times the team isn't even paying for that facility. They could be not making that much money and then having the state or the county or whatever, the city, be paying for those facilities and just tax dollars, and they have to like pay half of it or whatever. I mean, you saw it with LCA too. There's all these different things that go into it. So yeah, while it's weird that they are building it with their attendance, I wouldn't be surprised if in a couple of years they have that same conversation to say, well, they're still not making money, and maybe it makes sense to move them to, you know, Houston or somewhere in Canada or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that happening more before I see another team being added to the league.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, thank you, Max.
Yeah, thank you for the question.
Great questions. Real quick, one thing I want to touch on before we end it. The Canucks had a huge COVID-19 outbreak. Yeah. They still have, but it looks like they are playing today. There was a lot of pushback from, I think it was maybe JT Miller saying, or Horvat saying that they wanted to kind of pause just because everyone wasn't healthy. What's your guys' take on that? And do you think that there may be an issue?
What's the roster? I thought I think they're still going. So it'd be, that's a good question, I guess. So when you look at their roster today, I wonder who's going to be in it, because I think that they wanted to pause because they didn't have enough guys that were going to be back healthy, so their roster wouldn't look like an NHL team. So I don't know. I guess I haven't been following the situation too closely compared to where it was like a week ago, where it was really doom and gloom. So I know that they wanted to pause because they're kind of in this race here, and they don't want to just give up losses. But I don't know what their roster is going to be today when they go. I don't know who they're playing, but whenever they
the Leafs game.
No, so yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look at what their starting roster looks like and see how many AHL guys they had to bring up.
Yeah, that's a good point. On that though, my second part to that was, so with the playoffs coming, right? How is it going to look with the COVID-19 protocol being the fact that Canada requires a 14-day? So are the Canadian teams coming to America to play? Or are we going? That's what you're thinking, I'm assuming.
Well, because at a certain point, so Canada's only going to get to. There's going to be two teams before they start playing, or no, is it just one? It would just be one team in Canada before they start playing American teams. Once whoever wins that division, and then they would travel to, I would imagine, instead of going back and forth for 7 games, they would have to travel to America and play all.
And then my next question is, so does that Canadian team get a disadvantage because they technically would be in a bubble, while the other team gets to stay at home and have home advantage because there will be fans most likely in these arenas, so they'll have home ice advantage, plus they'll be at their house. What are your thoughts on that?
Maybe they'll play, I don't know what it is, and maybe they already have something out there, but maybe they won't all be at that rink, whoever the home team would be. Maybe they would play half there and half at one of the, maybe it would be like the Detroit. LCA with Detroit being out. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'd go to it.
Absolutely.
Tyler, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, that's a really good point that you bring up, Dustin. I haven't really thought about that one before, but I guess I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what does end up happening. I mean, do you think that maybe they'll move to bubbles again to make it fair for everybody? I mean, I have no idea.
Well, the players last year expressed very adamantly they did not like the bubbles.
Yeah, they did not want another one.
They did not like that. It was rough on them, rough on their families, rough on everybody.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how that pans out. I would like to see. I'm surprised you haven't seen anything come out from Gary Bettman talking about the upcoming playoffs or like the style that they're going for. But I guess they're kind of playing it by ear with the COVID-19 vaccinations, and to see if everyone's vaccinated, does that open up a little bit more of flexibility as far as the travel between the two countries?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what how closely Canada follows like CDC guidelines as far as like what we have out, or how like international that is. I just don't know enough about that. But if they're following, this could be stupid to say. Is it American CDC guideline? Like, I don't know, or just CDC, is that international? Do you guys know?
I think that I don't know that.
I believe CDC is just an American.
So I was wondering, they probably have their own that probably work really closely with American, very similar things, if not the same, but for Canada. And if they're recommend or saying that it would be okay for people to be vaccinated, if all parties are vaccinated, maybe they can travel back and forth without the 14-day incubation or quarantine. I mean,
right?
Who knows? I don't know. I'll have to read some. I'm sure, Uncle Bob McKenzie's got something out there to say, hey, this
Bobby
is
Mac. Man,
cool.
The Bob Father.
The Bob Father himself. Well, you guys got anything else? It was a quick hour.
No, man. No. That's it.
No. Tomorrow starts the 4 game little stretch with Dallas.
2-2, baby. So, let's go, Dustin.
Let's go. All right, let's get the puck out of here, boys, and see you next week.
See you next week.